Ladies and gentlemen, it's 7 p.m. on a Thursday night, and that must mean it's time for the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles. How's everyone out there doing tonight? To my left is Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist from Twitter. He's a little grizzled. He's a grizzled veteran of the Twitter wars today, but he's going to tough it out and make it through this show. We are the Squared Circle Maniacs, representing the Squared Circle Maniacs chapter from Twitter, from the Twitterverse, if you will. We are a group of like-minded individuals that love professional wrestling in all its art forms, all federations, New Japan, WWE, AEW, TNA.
You lost everybody at New Japan. You lost everybody at New Japan.
New Japan is a little shaky. They're on shaky ground right now.
Do they even have a TV?
They need some more gaijins in their organization. Gaijins, look that one up. Alexander, Greg, what's going on, guys? Who else is there?
We got a room full of folks. We got some problems, though. We got some problems, folks.
What?
I got issues, man. Raw is killing my soul. It is sucking my soul dry.
Sucking your soul dry?
Why in the hell is the camera getting crazy? What's happening right now? Thanks for joining, everybody. First news I want to talk about that came out. Did you see that Seth Rollins was apparently banged up after his match on Monday Night Raw?
Hurt his knee.
Yeah, apparently he was limping up pretty good, and they're 2 weeks out from Royal Rumble. This is why I'm not a big fan of having your stars on TV in matches of this caliber before you're about to have a pay-per-view. If you want to have them in a match, fine. Put them in something that's not going to be risky. Sure. Jinder Mahal did not win the title. Did not win the title. There was no cash in. There was reportedly no way they were going to do it. However, I did read, and if you watch Raw this week, there was 3 things to take away from Raw that I saw that was worth watching. I mean, other than that, we'll get into it, but God knows. The opening segment was good with Cody Rhodes and then Drew coming out to interrupt him. I thought that was good. But you going with me here, Miles? Wake up, son! Raw was boring enough on its own. I need you to get some energy in here now.
The same energy right now as I had for that Raw.
I will come through this screen and bionic elbow your ass. That's what's going to happen.
Horrendous.
The other part that got my attention was Rhea Ripley had her confrontation. So I think we know what matchup we're getting at Royal Rumble.
Absolutely.
And it was good. It was a good promo. It felt really awesome. I like Becky Lynch could cut a promo, and this was her, I think, at one of her better promos.
And you know what? A man who recently left there said that she can't speak. No one can understand her.
Dude, some people's kids. And then the other part to watch, of course, was the Jinder Mahal. The rumors and word coming out was they had a lot of traveling issues because of the weather across the country. So the matches were especially long on Raw this week. Like crazy long. I mean, nuts.
Supposedly, Punk was booked for the show for a bit of shenanigans at the end of the show, which would result in the rumored Damian Priest cash-in on Jinder Mahal. But Punk couldn't make it in. So take that with a grain of salt. Take it for what it's worth. That's what the rumor going around is. A lot of people missed the show. So it is what it is.
He didn't get the belt, so I was glad to see that. It's just, again, this is my thing, man. This is the problem with Raw when they do this shit for a PLE. The lead up is just too long, and there's not enough story to go along with the wrestling and the lead up. It's just, oh my God, it's too pasteurized. There is nothing that gets me fired up other than those 3 segments. Nothing piqued my interest. Nothing made me want to stick around. What am I missing now? Like I don't get that.
You're not missing anything. They were spinning their wheels. They're spinning their wheels right now. When's the Rumble? Not this Saturday.
2 weeks. Yeah, it's Saturday. 2 weeks.
They're going to spin their wheels again next Monday. Unless they have a hot angle. The only thing I can think of that's going to generate a little buzz for this is if Jade Cargill on Monday states that she's going to be on the Royal Rumble. And
now you've got my attention.
Brock Lesnar. The rumor has that he's going to be in the Rumble. So if he comes back and just hits a ring during a random match, starts throwing guys out of the ring over the top rope, he's going to say, I'm coming to the Rumble.
But they like those surprise entrance bottles. You know it, and I know it. They love those surprise entrants. They don't want you to know everybody that's coming.
Well,
But they got it. They got to put some star power on my television to keep me interested. Right?
I think Mickie James is going to be in the Rumble this year. She's married to Nick Aldis. She's also the VP of talent at Ohio Valley Wrestling now. She's no longer in TNA Impact. So, you know. What's that? What say you, people in the chat room? Who's going to be the surprises at the Royal
Chris
Rumble?
said Cody and Punk are going to face each other on Monday Night Raw. I had not seen that yet, so I'll have to look around for that.
Well, you got a situation there. Who's going to win the Elimination Chamber? Who's going to win the Royal Rumble? Whoever wins the Chamber has a shot at the belt. What's going to happen?
Dude, what I'm praying does not happen. I do not want to see The Rock at the Rumble. At the WrestleMania as the main event. I don't want that as a fan. I don't. He had his time. That was almost 30 years ago, 25 years ago, roughly, that he had his time in this company. I'd like to see him in a match. I'd like to see him get entertaining. Believe you me, I enjoy that. But I don't want to see him main eventing.
Don, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Don.
Sure.
How many tickets do they have sold for the Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia? How many tickets are sold?
I don't know that one, actually. Do you know?
It's over 47,000, I believe. Chris Stikelether, I know you're there.
I don't know how many he
Chris
had.
the Stike Man Stikelether.
I can guarantee you one person that won't be at the Royal Rumble. Tessa Blanchard will never step foot in the WWE. That will never happen.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, I do. That will never happen. There's some bridges that you can't repair. That shit ain't happening.
She's working her way back, pal. She's working her way back. Tessa Blanchard is going to be on the main stage for a national wrestling company this year, I predict.
Well, it ain't going to be in the WWE. I can guarantee you that.
Why?
Why? She had, dude, her backstage.
Repented.
I don't give a shit if Jesus himself came down and forgave her. This woman does not deserve another shot in a major company. She's terrible. She's a horrible human being. She's a piece of shit. I can't put it any more plainly than that.
A tiger can't change his stripes. A leopard can't change his spots.
She's a leper, all right. She's a leper.
Leopard, not leopard.
No, she's a leper.
Oh, look at that.
She will bring everyone down. Ladies, goddamn horseshit. Raw did 1.41 million, which goes along with us that it's just the fans are going to watch, just like AEW fans, no matter what. This is just awful. It was terrible, dude.
People clicked over and said, "I'd say Ludwig Kaiser match." Let me check back.
It was a homogenized, pasteurized show. Is the best way I can put it.
More Ludwig Kaiser backstage.
What the hell are you doing?
I'm talking about changing channels. You see Ludwig Kaiser on your TV.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I didn't like it.
25-minute fucking match. I mean, who wants to see that?
Well, like we said,
nobody. The New Day, all I can say is the New Day, just go away.
Why is that still a thing as well?
Well, I'm tired of the New Day. Make them heels. Make them all heels. It's over for the New Day. They can't be selling that much merch now. They can't be.
I couldn't say any better than you. It was just, I didn't like Raw. It just felt very vanilla. Very vanilla.
Vanilla.
I just, whatever, man. I was done with it. And Chris said about 48,500. God bless America. Click the screen. Click the screen. AEW's got me in this mood.
48,500. So if they keep going, Don, with that pay-per-view, and they announce the second week of February,
The Rock is coming.
Main event facing
20,000 tickets, I'd say. 20,000.
The whole joint will be sold out. So they're probably waiting to see what's going to happen. He's not going to be in the Rumble. He may make an appearance, but not in the Rumble itself.
No, I don't think he'll be in the Rumble.
He may confront Roman Reigns at the Rumble. Also,
after he's not wrestling in the Rumble. Is Roman Reigns wrestling in the Rumble?
No. And Meltzer says, and you can't believe a word Meltzer says because he doesn't know anything. Oh, Roman's schedule, he's not going to be in Australia. He's not going to be anywhere for any TV tapings in March or anything like that, any TVs. Yeah, he's not going to be at the Rumble, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? Meltzer does not have a hotline to Hunter Hearst Helmsley like he used to. He doesn't have that.
He doesn't have the Mean Gene connection.
Jericho.
Call out to the hotline, kids. 1-900-909.
The Dave Meltzer hotline, where you'll get, "Hi, this is Dave. Dave Meltzer. You probably, you probably know me. Well, you might subscribe. Well, you probably see my website.
No, stop it. Stop it.
What?
I can hear the clicks now. Just go away. The dude talking is the drizzling shits. Anyway, I just want to cover Raw real quick. That was god awful. Just.
I want to know when R-Truth is going to team up with Tom and Nick Mysterio.
I don't know. Can you hear me okay?
Memes? Have you seen?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Okay? All right, there we go.
Have you seen the memes of R-Truth? R-Truth and Tom and Nick Mysterio.
No.
They've got a Dominic Mysterio from like 4 years ago, and then they've got another Dominic Mysterio from like 10, 12 years ago. 2 younger Dominic Mysterios posing with R-Truth. That's Tom and Nick Mysterio. You got to see it on Twitter. It was all over Twitter a couple days ago.
That's Roman right. Thanks for reminding me, Chris. Roman versus Orton versus Knight versus Styles is the fatal 4-way for Royal Rumble.
That's right.
This is what I mean.
They're not. We call ourselves wrestling fans.
No, they don't
call ourselves wrestling fans.
Dude, they don't keep it going forward when they get a storyline like that. They don't remind you over and over again because they're like Raw and SmackDown are different shows. The hell out of here. It's the same company. Keep that shit going. Keep it hot. Keep it fresh in our minds.
It's hard to keep it going on SmackDown when the guy who's got the belt is not there.
Ever.
It doesn't show up. It's not the fact that whether or not he's going to wrestle. He just doesn't show up. I don't know why they just don't have Roman Reigns do 3 weeks of scripted pre-tapes. Just scenes backstage when he comes in. Change your T-shirt, Roman. Okay, no problem. Hey, they put on a new sport coat. And they do like a little bit
Cut 3 promos to where they know where the storyline's going, so at least you see the guy.
Interact with somebody. Interact with AJ, LA Knight. Do a beatdown on Randy Orton backstage or whoever.
Anyway,
that's what they used to do in the old days. They used to do that in the old days.
They cut like 2 or 3 different segments in one show and then save them for the can.
Well, you remember back in the old days, and they're all over YouTube, of Mean Gene standing in front of a wall.
Yeah, it's front of a green screen.
With a sign on it, and he would go back and interview all these guys. Where we go? What's the next show? Poughkeepsie? Okay. These are from Poughkeepsie, New York. New Jersey. Okay, let's go. And he would talk about, what's the arena? The shit stand arena in Poughkeepsie. Okay. And they went, well, ladies, wrestling fans, we're back. We're going to be live Saturday night, Poughkeepsie Arena. And they would do 10 interviews for the Poughkeepsie Arena. And then cut. And they would go and do Spokane, Washington. A whole spate of, Why can't they do that for Roman Reigns?
Why can't they do it for all of them? Like, that should be something that you see locally and you don't see it anymore. Because they're national, and I get it. But that's part of the wrestling ambiance that made me a fan. Your mother's a whore!
The guy who's in charge of that department, his mother's a whore.
Some of these things they do, man. Some of the old can work again. The old can still work again. I got nothing else for Raw. You want to keep going, go ahead. But that shit, I soul-sucking event.
I could just listen to you as Terry Funk.
Mother's a whore!
One thing I want to talk about, and I love Tommaso Ciampa. We've talked about this privately.
Oh, God knows.
I love Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes, you do. And you're in that minority that I can't get with.
Johnny Gargano. That's a channel-changing name right there in your house.
I'm not watching anything he's in. That dude, he has a nickname that I have heard. How do you know it?
Johnny Sameface.
Johnny Sameface, because he looks like everybody else. He wrestles like everybody else that's his size. Nothing about that guy says special. Nothing about that guy says I should watch.
When he walks through the ring, the expression on his face is the same as when Omos would stand on his back. Same expression. It's neither pain, agony, happy, sad, joyous, ebullient, blase, blase. It's the same expression on his face. And, you listen to Jim Cornette all the time, and I know he calls him Johnny Sameface. He's right. It's Johnny Sameface. He needs to emote more. Tommaso Ciampa is a hell of a wrestler, and so is Gargano. But Gargano's not believable. He's not believable going up against these huge men. At least Tommaso Ciampa's got a little bit of bulk on him. He's very, very ripped.
No, he's in great shape. But every time he's on the mic, there's nothing there that seems to captivate me. And I have heard, that at NXT he was amazing. He was amazing at NXT, is what I hear.
For the bulk of his run at NXT, he was a heel. He was a heel, and now he's a face. Because him and Gargano are great pals. They're buddies. They're wrestling buddies. You remember wrestling
They're friends.
Buddies. They're friends. They met at summer camp a long time ago.
I don't want to see him anymore.
Tommaso Ciampa, I could live with. Gargano, I can't. His wife, Candice LeRae, when she walks down the ramp, you know that she's going to do the job. You know that. When she walks down. But I think they picked up a win. Her and Indy Hartwell picked up a win the other night.
No one cares. No one cares.
I think that's when I woke up. Yes, they pinned
cares.
Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, the former ladies tag champion.
Where? Yep, I can't find anybody here that gives a shit either.
No? Indy Hartwell pinned Chelsea Green, and Bubba the Wonder Dog said, "Arr." Bubba the Wonder Dog in my house was excited about that. He's the only one who cared. Me, I rolled over on the couch and went back to sleep.
Well, a lot of people rolled over on this show. It was bad, but
it was terrible. It wasn't good at all. And you know what, Don?
But
in our comments on our YouTube channel.
Oh God, folks! If you ever get a chance, check out the comments after the shows. People lose their shit on us and swear we're WWE shills. We have opened the first 17 minutes of the show shitting on a terrible show that was WWE. Stop it. Just stop it. You don't watch the program. You're AEW neckbeards who come out looking for anything that messes with your precious AEW, and you get all worked up and hot and bothered, and you're scratching the neckbeard, and you're scratching the zits on your arm, and you're shoving the Cheetos in your face, and you're slamming Mountain Dews, and you're angry typing. It's keyboard warrior time to protect your precious AEW, which sucks. And this week was no different, regardless of your ratings. So eat shit and live. Morons.
We've been told that nothing comes out of our mouths but shit. And then we eat the shit out of each other's bungholes.
Well, that's a new way of looking at it. These people got an imagination with shit.
The people that are saying this, all I can say is you're like olive oil. You're extra virgin. Okay? That's all I can say.
That was good. Do you want to talk about the shit that was AEW?
Well, since I made the thumbnail for this video and the title,
we should probably talk about it.
We should probably talk about that. We always talked about there are two. And before we go to AEW, were we negative about WWE?
I think we've been sufficiently chastised.
For 18 minutes and 34 seconds now. We've talked shit about WWE. The show was rotten. Didn't like it. A couple bright spots. The Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal. They really gave Jinder Mahal a lot of offense.
A nice shot. Gave him a good shot.
They built them up. So he was deserving.
So he's no longer a joke. And that's good that he's no longer a joke. There's something to take away from that is that, yes, he was a former champion. Yes, he can still perform in the ring. Yes, he's still a big bastard. So,
right.
Do you want to tell everybody what your favorite moment of AEW was? Because we need to lead off with that.
There are just a few shining lights in AEW, especially this week. Number one is in the thumbnail, Samoa Joe. Number two.
And we'll get to that.
Number two is something that I really, really popped for and loved. Toni Storm, during the Dianna Parazo segment, or as I call her, Donna Palato, as she calls her, tried to climb up on the announce table, couldn't make it, and her manservant Luther leaned forward and put his bald head between her legs and hoisted her up on his shoulders and gave her a ride. And she sat on top of Luther's shoulders and proceeded to cut down Donna Palazzo.
I mean, it was a hell of a promo.
Hell of a promo. And said, "You don't worry about my past, our past that we had together. I've got a good mind to come to that ring and suck you right in your box. Chin up, tits out, watch out for the shoe." And she threw a freaking shoe in the ring. But when she said, "I'll suck you right in the box," Renee Young is holding the microphone for Palazzo. She goes, And
It was
goes,
gold, dude.
Oh my God. And they both laughed because who would think of saying that on TV? It was the
brilliant.
Character, it's a stolen gimmick. However, she's taken it to another level.
She is gold right now.
Gold.
The last couple of weeks, though, you got to admit that it was not good. Like it was starting to wane thin, right? It was getting a little
wither on the vine. It was withering on the vine.
But when you tell somebody I'm going to punch you in the box and look out for the shoe, look out for the shoe.
And then threw the shoe back and forth. She threw the shoe in, Parazo threw the shoe back, and she threw the shoe back at Parazo.
God.
Comedy gold, and Luther walked her all the way to the back on his shoulders.
It was great. Hang on
a second.
All right.
Tony Schiavone, thank God, was not there. Tony Schiavone was replaced by Ian Riccoboni this week. And if you want to keep doing that, guys, please do. Give us a Schiavone. I'm all Schiavone'd out. She was next to Ian Riccoboni and said, "Oh, Mr. Schiavone, you look wonderful. Have you've changed your look? You've shaved. I see you've been working.
You've lost weight.
You've lost weight, and you've been working out. You look marvelous." What a goddamn gimmick that was. I can't believe it. I cannot believe she resurrected her career with something
from the
so
dead.
off the
From
wall.
the dead with that awful group.
Dead. She would be on Rampage now if she didn't come up with this idea, or someone came up with this idea. I would like to think
deader than Kelsey's nuts.
Deader than how dead are they? They're so dead. Johnny, how dead are they?
How dead are they, Johnny?
Are you Epic Man now?
I guess so. There was also a backstage promo where Timeless Tony Storm went off. And I don't think you've seen this yet.
I have not.
But she said, "Yes, darling, I will meet you and I will greet you. I will complete you and then I will beat you and then I will eat you. Come, children, I'm ready for my pork dinner." She calls her a pig.
Oh my God! Is that on Twitter?
Oh,
when we get off the air, we're going to relentlessly search that clip. There,
it's on Twitter under All Elite Wrestling.
It's fantastic, man. What a gimmick! What a gimmick, folks! If you haven't seen the movie, I know you haven't because we're not 110 years old. There was an old movie back in the day called Sunset Boulevard, and I believe the star of that movie was a woman named Tallulah Bankhead. She played a fading, older Hollywood star who wasn't a star anymore. And she had a hard time in her big mansion actually dealing with that fact.
And no TV information yet.
This is the gimmick that Tony Storm. Feel free to interrupt anytime you want to. This is the gimmick that Tony Storm was doing. Go ahead. What about TV deal?
No, he was just asking, did he AEW TV deal yet? No, nothing yet. Hadn't heard anything.
Well, that's Maribel. That's a woman.
Yeah,
not a guy.
I'm just saying I hadn't heard anything yet.
Okay.
Like I've been looking. I've been scouring the internet. Some of the dark places on the internet have gotten me nervous when I go in those chat rooms, but nothing yet. Yeah. That whole thing, classic. Loved it. It made me pay attention. You know what didn't make me pay attention? And I wanted to talk about this too.
Private Party and Top Flight?
Who the hell are those guys?
Folks, what we're trying to get here is, especially the thumbnail and the description of this video, is they have no stars.
I wasn't going to talk about him yet. I'm saving him.
They have no stars. I'm not mentioning his name. They have no stars except for two.
They've got a few.
Top Flight.
What? I thought you were going to call him a fucking star for a minute. The way you left with Jesus, dude. You know who's not? Look. Oh,
I'm
man.
not going to call them stars.
Okay.
Private Party? The one guy returns. The one guy returns from injury. He's been out for a year and a half. They said nothing about him. No promos. Didn't say anything. Oh, he's back from injury. This is what happened to him. He's worked his way back. He rehabbed. It was a hard thing. I'm trying to make my way back. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And Lloyd Nicolette. Go ahead, Lloyd. This
is exactly where I wanted to go with this. This is what I want to talk about.
Go ahead.
These three guys have been treated like goofs, complete goofs, for the past.
You're referring to Roderick Strong.
Roderick Strong. Sorry, yes, Roderick Strong. And the
what's the guy's name? Mike Bennett and the.
I don't care.
Mike
I don't
Bennett
care.
looking like number 2. Go ahead.
What the hell is their rip-off name from their WWE thing? The something. Like, this is how much I don't care about these guys. I don't even know what they're called anymore.
The Undisputed Kingdom is
the Undisputed Kingdom. Thank you. Yes. So they come walking down to the ring. And by the way, someone needs to explain to me why everybody's growing a goddamn mustache in AEW right now at the same time. Roger Strong's growing them. The Young Bucks are growing them. Hangman Adam Page. Everybody's growing a goddamn mustache like a 70s porn star. What are we doing?
Don, my theory on the Young Bucks it's a couple of wayward Cleveland Steamers with Dirty Sanchez.
I would agree. I'll get to that in a minute. So
that's what I think.
Thank you, Larry. Yes, they did just hit puberty. They figured that shit out. The era came out. Roderick Strong comes to the ring against. Look, I didn't even watch this match. I just flipped over when that shit was over with because I'm not watching Orange Cassidy in the ring. That's never going to happen. I'm not watching Pockets. It's not going to happen. No. So I'll switch back.
As they say,
and they
the
get in the
blooms
ring.
Off the rose for Pockets. The novelty's over. He was a novelty.
The Kingdom.
Act.
That's right. The Kingdom.
I told you that.
Undisputed Kingdom.
I told you that.
Whatever.
Why do you doubt me? What, you go to the chat room? What do you go to the chat room and look?
I'm sorry, Mike.
Kingdom.
I'm sorry, Mike.
What are we doing?
I scared the cat. I feel bad now.
The cat's hanging from the chandelier right now, Don, in his house. Thanks a fucking lot.
Well, Cole came out, cut the same promo Cole came out. Cole. Not like,
come out anywhere. He was backstage. It's too far from the walk.
Sorry, Adam Cole.
He's a brittle man. He's a brittle spin.
Roderick Strong came out, got in the ring, and got in Orange Cassidy's face. And this shit was just. I cannot take you seriously as a tough guy when the last 4 weeks you have been or the last 3 months you have been a joke. You have been the guy crying for help to your best. Adam! And now you're the tough guy? You want me to make that leap of faith with you? You have been put out as a joke. That's what you are to me now. You getting in the ring with another joke? None of this matters. I don't care. He went to take off Orange Cassidy's glasses, and I swear, I don't know if that was scripted or not, but Orange Cassidy legit looked pissed off. Like he looked hot. He tried to snatch the mic out of his hand because I felt, and maybe Orange Cassidy is a better actor than I give him credit for as far as in-ring, promo work. All of that looked like it wasn't supposed to happen. So if it wasn't, then I give him credit. He did something well. Other than that, this whole thing sucked donkey ass because those guys are jokes.
Calm down, folks.
You calm down.
In wrestling, not everyone who works with everyone else. Two opponents in the ring don't necessarily like each other. A lot of times, the guys who are wrestling each other in the ring aren't friends. They're just acquaintances. Sometimes they're not friends at all. Sometimes they legit do not like each other. But they're not going to kill each other in the ring. Unless maybe you're Lex Luger and Bruiser Brody back in the day.
Yes, if I didn't say he went off script, I'm going to say he went off script. He just went off somewhere.
He was a
autistic
I gotta calm
guy
down. He was an autistic man with a bad neck, sitting in a wheelchair for months with these two mooks behind him, pushing him around that couldn't rearrange furniture in his house or mow the freaking lawn. He had to have Adam, who's got a bad wheel, come over, who was getting around better back then than he is right now on crutches. He was mowing lawns with a bad foot before. And
now he can't even walk to the ring.
Can't even walk to the ring. He should be in the wheelchair now and be pushed around by Wardlow, who he swears up and down. Wardlow's going to be the next champ. He's going to beat Samoa Joe.
And I want to talk about this.
Heel versus heel.
I want to talk about this.
And Wardlow's going to hand him the belt.
Okay, hold on. All right, there's something about the entire Wardlow booking that I have an issue with. Wasn't he already a lackey for MJF in this company? He already did this, correct?
And that was a new lackey. His ceiling here in AEW is lackey.
This is what I don't get.
He's Luchasaurus without the mask.
This is what I don't get. I get that they can have a lackey in the group. Why has it got to be the same guy that was a lackey for the person they turned on to get revenge on? Why does it have to be the same guy over and over again? Lazy ass booking is where we are right now. It's terrible. It is terrible right now.
You've got a man with ADHD who is
I think he's on fentanyl at this point.
Fentanyl? No, he'd
I
be
think
dead
he
from
is.
fentanyl.
Not that
sure
guy with all the
he's got
shit in
Roderick
his system.
Strong. Roderick Strong's testing his cocaine backstage to make sure there's no fentanyl in it. He's a man with ADHD who's all coked up, allegedly, who has no grasp of episodic storytelling from one week to the next. There's a reason why the WWE hires Hollywood writers, failed sitcom writers, failed drama TV show writers to come back and have like a. Under Vince, you never had any of that because Vince would tear the scripts up and throw them out. But now they harken back to what happened 2 months ago or 3 months ago in WWE. Remember when you said this, you son of a bitch? There's a lot of that going on with Drew McIntyre.
A lot of that going on.
A lot of that going on with Drew McIntyre in that whole way.
And they're coming after CM Punk, all of it. I love it. Everybody's coming after Punk. Everybody's coming after Cody Rhodes for his statement of I got to finish my story. I love where that's going. There needs to be more of that.
Really
There's none of that in AEW. None of it. We've got
it's fly by the seat of your pants. You've got a guy, Don. You've got a guy who's taking care of the operations of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look how that's turned out.
They're doing well.
He's running 2 soccer teams over in Great Britain, so allegedly, and now he's also handling whatever other sundry businesses that they have. Why is the Lackey the only one that looks like he could win a real fight?
He is.
You're right.
He is.
All the lackeys in this company look like they could win a real fight. You know what? I called Wardlow Luchasaurus without the mask. You know what I would do with Luchasaurus if I ran this?
Fire
company?
him. I would fire his ass. Oh, yes.
No.
Oh, yes.
I would have a guy with long hair come to the ring with no mask and with different gear and wrestle and say he's a debuting new superstar. No one's ever heard of him before. And
T-Rex.
Beat a
His
job.
name is T-Rex.
Tyrone Rex. Yeah, so we have a new man here tonight. His name is Theodore Rex. Now, have him without the mask, win a few squash matches, and also come back later in the night as Luchasaurus. And then you schedule.
You've been hanging out with Tony Khan.
No. You schedule.
Oh, yes.
You schedule a match between the new guy after 2 months and Christian Cage. And it turns out that guy's Luchasaurus. But how great was the commentary last night?
Much better. It was better.
Commentary was top notch.
Well,
Tony Schiavone.
if you could get rid of that mask.
Sting!
We got to talk about this. AEW did 891,000 on average.
Because
I would
Tony
like to
Schiavone
see.
wasn't on the show.
I would like to see that number without the Big Bang lead-in. That's what I want to see. I want to see that without the Big Bang lead-in.
The Big Bang lead-in is 1 minute and 30 seconds.
But it's 1 million. It's 1.5 million people that are watching it
for the first 15 minutes because they got up, they let the dog out, they're taking a squirt, they're getting another beer, much like myself, and making a ham and cheese sandwich and walking back.
Lloyd has a serious medical question for you, and I'm concerned as well at this point in time.
What's that? Did
you trade your weed for Tony's Coke?
No, you can't trust. You can't trust street weed. I mean, street coke anymore. I lace it with fentanyl, so I just stick.
Get your medical cocaine, ladies and gentlemen.
Get your medical cocaine. God bless him. Yes.
Dave Meltzer couldn't wait to tweet this out as soon as it dropped today. By the way, just let you know, he dropped that number as soon as it came out. The 893. I mean, he was so excited.
He's the best promotion guy they've got.
He really is their center mouthpiece.
He should be their social media director.
I also saw the Young Bucks.
For a man that antisocial, he should be the social media director.
The Young Bucks had the worst acting class I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, my God.
If anybody saw this, I don't want to hear that the Young Bucks can cut a promo. This shit with Renee Moxley good was 7th grade drama class putting on a play. It was god-awful. It sucked. It was horrible. And they can't give up on CM Punk. They can't keep his name. They cannot keep that out of their mouths. They can't do it because that's all they have. That's the only thing they have that matters in the entire wrestling community right now. They're not relevant. They don't matter. Nothing they do or say matters. Their entire we're the new way and Sting's the old way and he's the last guy we got to retire. Dumbest shit I've ever heard. Stupid. None of this made any sense. None of it. So Sting's final match should be a tag team match? The guy that was in literally very limited tag teams his entire career? Or what the hell are we doing, man? This sucks.
Say that I
and Renee Moxley Good sitting over there like,
it was fantastic. Renee Moxley Good did a great job of creating interest in this promo. She was she was a JR level right there.
I will end this podcast right now. I've got an end button right there. I'll end it.
I thought that sucked a dead dog's ass. That's what I thought.
That
was terrible.
God.
Horrible. And if they didn't change the channel then, I've got to see. What these
we got to find the quarter hours. If we don't find them tonight, we'll talk about them tomorrow night.
Well, they're on WrestleNomics Patreon, but if someone can actually, who's a member of the WrestleNomics Patreon, can pull those figures for us and shoot them over to us, that'd be fantastic. But
I'll take 6 more weeks of winter over 6 more weeks of Rod in his pockets.
Who said that?
Dan had.
Oh, okay, Dan.
Bama Dan.
There you go.
That's good.
I
Got
thought
me
that
to
was
pop.
Block Larry.
That
Larry,
was,
how cold is it down where you're at, Larry?
Well, it's warming up now.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Well, you want to be Captain Obvious, jackass. The whole thing sucked. It was bad. I watched it to see, okay, what's going to happen. Then I noticed they both had the mustaches like we saw last week, and I was like, okay,
yes.
I have no idea. That's terrible. How many years do you think Punk will be in WWE? I'd say at least 3. I think he's got a 3-year run in him. If they keep using him this way, he's got a good 3-year run.
I think, barring any altercations backstage or him getting pissed off with management, I think CM Punk will be retiring from the business in the WWE, and he'll be working backstage either as an agent or as a trainer down at NXT.
No, his
people. He was
his backstage. People. Yes, it's amazing. Everyone at AEW that he worked with says the dude was great. And you pointed out it's been crazy to see how many people came forward and said, I liked having CM Punk here. I don't know what the hell the problem was.
Jay Cargill, in interviews, while she still worked for that company, said, they told me to go take a steel chair, and whack her over the head with it. And
I've never used a chair.
How do you do it? No one's ever showed me. Is it a fake chair, a gimmick chair? What do you say?
He just put the bell up every time he hears great.
It was, they told me to hit her with a chair. And is it a rubber chair? Is it a wooden chair? What is it? What kind of chair is it? And CM Punk took her on the side and said, it's a metal chair. It's a folding chair that you sit in. But you hit him this way with it. Go ahead, take this. I'll hit you with it. And did it hurt? No. You hit me with it. And she hit him with it. He taught her how to use a steel chair. No one else was teaching her anything there.
They just said go whack a bitch with a chair. That was their entire thing.
Yeah. And Ron, you're right. NXT has better storylines than AEW, and 90% of the wrestlers in TNT or whatever that was because you cut it off too fast.
We got to get to Samoa Joe, but I want to say this real quick. When are we going to see Braun Breaker? He's got to be in the Rumble, right? He's got to be one of the surprise entrants. Has to be. It's time.
He's got to be. The rumor going around is him and Cora Jade broke up. That was his girlfriend at NXT. And I sort of think that was, what'd you just say?
I don't care about that.
Dude, I'm just saying that's one of the reasons why he didn't want to get called up to the main roster. He said, he probably said, can I go up when Cora goes up? Because they probably promised him, Cora's going to go up soon, no problem. And now she's out with a torn ACL.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care who your girlfriend is. It's time to put on a show. Because right now what's going on Mondays is sucking. It's killing me. You get a good show after a pay-per-view to lead you and say, here's the new storylines. Right. And then we're going to drag this shit across the sand and glass and torture you. And then we get to pay-per-view and it's like, oh, God, that was great. Speaking of great, Samoa Joe.
Yes. The only ratings draw that they have. I would die. I'm going to die to see what the last 15 minutes of this show pulled in.
I can't wait to see it. We'll have to discuss it tomorrow night when we do the show because we're not going to be able to pull it up tonight. We'll have to do some digging.
And folks, we are doing a show tomorrow night. We didn't do
Damn you, Larry.
Tonight, but we are doing.
And yes, we did see Cora Jade had the torn ACL. It was sad.
Yes.
Samoa Joe right now, I have never been openly. I've never been a big Samoa Joe fan. I've never pulled for him. I've never cared for him. I didn't find him to be all that intimidating or good on the mic. He had an okay physique, but nothing about him really ever set him apart. He is doing.
Physique?
Yeah, he's got an okay physique. He's a big bastard. He's Samoan. He will rip your head off, shit down your neck, and tell you he's going to do it. There's nothing you can do to stop him.
Dude, he suffered from TB. 2 bellies.
I don't mind.
It's enormous.
I don't mind.
He can move like a cruiserweight. The guy's amazing.
Look, this match, I'm going to let you talk about this because he at least puts a level of violence in his matches that is needed in wrestling today. When he lays his shit in, it looks real.
The showboating that he did. The main takeaway from this match for me, besides the non-selling of the Muscle Buster by Hook, when
we got to talk. No, save that. Save that.
Beat the piss out of Hook, and then he strutted around the ring. He did the old Vince McMahon strut around the ring, like he was on his way to the high school dance. It was amazing. Okay. Just the that he did around the ring. I laughed my ass off when I saw it. The chops, I've never seen Hook get chopped in the chest like that or on the back before. I've never seen Hook get beaten up like that before.
You're just jumping straight to the punchline here. Keep going. There's a punchline here, I'm telling you.
I'm just saying that last night was Samoa Joe, a 320-pound man. Gotta be. A 320-pound Polynesian man who beat the piss out of a 150-pound DoorDash driver.
Best synopsis I've heard.
They could have ordered DoorDash and said,
and just beat the shit out of the guy that showed up.
I got the dozen taco box from Taco Bell. Who gets it? He's down this rampway. Just go down there. Just go down there. Don't worry about all the people. Just go down there and walk up those middle steps and hand it to him in the ring on the other side of the ropes. Are you kidding me? No, just go right ahead. That's what it looked like. Tyler Sinerka.
He
needs, when that contract's up, and your father even said this in interviews, he needs to go to NXT.
He needs to gain about 50 pounds. He needs to gain about 50 damn pounds.
He does. And he needs to go to NXT.
So here was what I was watching.
Orange Cassidy.
Oh, why are you doing this, man?
Orange Cassidy is making Tyler. Orange Cassidy's Wardlow next to Tyler Sinerka.
I'm watching this match, right? And the visual itself is utterly ridiculous when they get the ring and face off. It's utterly ridiculous. There is no reason this should be happening right now, but it's happening, right? No, it's happening.
You're right.
I was glad that they at least kept it honest and that it looked like Samoa Joe was going to murder Hook. Right? It looked like he was going to kill him.
Sure.
He did not get it a whole lot of offense. It just didn't happen. He pretty much dominated this match from what I remember. Am I wrong?
He did.
Okay. So then he gets on the Muscle Buster, right? And to this point, I'm like, okay, this proves Hook. Yeah, this proves Hook is a mid-card guy. He's got a fan base. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the hair. I don't know what the hell about the guy that attracts some of these fans. I don't know. Maybe they see him as a woman. I don't know what the hell it is.
No, they see him as one of them. But he's about to hit the Muscle Buster, and you're thinking, this is a move that legit broke another man's neck in the WWE and ended his career. So now he's a producer for the women's matches. This is TJ
Hookenspiel.
No, TJ. What's TJ Wilson from
TJ Hook?
Italian,
Got it.
Tonight. Damn you, Natalia Neidhart's husband, TJ Wilson, used to be a wrestler. He was in a tag team with Cesaro. Cesaro loved him. They were good friends. He broke his neck wrestling to Samoa Joe at a house show. He didn't take the Muscle Buster the right way, and now he broke that. He broke that bone that connects your spine to your skull, much like Big E did. But he actually separated the bone from his skull. And somehow the WWE medical staff, who is better now than what they were when Punk was there, isolated that man, got him in the ambulance. He had surgery. The neck was fused. He can never get in the ring again. But I digress. Go ahead with your story. This is a move that broke people's necks in real life.
It is a real devastating move. He goes to pin him,
Yes.
and he kicks out after one.
One.
Do you know what this is akin to, Johnny? This is how I described it to a friend of the show earlier today.
Go ahead.
I said
We have
they
friends
put
of the
on a
show?
match. Friends of the show. I said this was a match where I could believe what was happening because the big guy was beating the shit out of the little guy. He hits his finisher and he kicks out after one. I said that's like you go out on a date when you're younger before you get married with a hot chick, and she's good looking girl. She's hot. She's got beautiful girl. And then it's time to go down to business, and you guys both get down to get ready to go, and you open up the blouse, and there's 3 hairy nipples, and everything else goes to shit. None of it mattered before. There's 3 hairy nipples, and it's done. Everything is done. Nothing else mattered that happened before. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys, because that's how I felt about the show. I couldn't stand what happened after this. I didn't want to watch anymore after this. And that's how I felt.
3 hairy nipples. That brings back
Looking you.
That was the worst season of summer camp I ever had.
Yeah.
But go ahead. The triple nipple strikes again.
It was that bad. It killed anything I cared about this match when that happened. If he kicks out at 2, I could go with it because he was posing. When you kick out at 1, I'm done, son. I'm done.
And then he kept getting up after the match was over. He kept getting up. Joe, is that all you got? He did that, twice, 3 times. Joe got back in the ring and beat his ass. You know what I would have done? I told you this when we were on the phone today talking about the show earlier. And this is what I would have done if I would.
Wait, no, because we didn't finish yet, but you can touch on that in a minute. Because what happened next is awful. We got another Adam Page sighting.
That slow-witted dullard who, whenever he's on TV, kills ratings. And that's a fact. Whenever he's on TV, the ratings drop. Adam Page. He can't. The more I hear him talk, the more I want to change the channel. He's less over. Every time they put a microphone in his face, he's less over because he can't talk. What he says barely makes sense, and it's not captivating at all. You're not going to remember a single thing he said a half hour down the road in this shit.
No. And the other part I had with it was Swerve Strickland's interview again, was just the guy's got charisma until he gets on the microphone.
He's got a manager for a reason. What's the manager there for? Just to
use
dance?
That guy.
Come on, man.
Anyway, that's how the show went. I was like, oh, they're not going to give this up. So how would you have ended it? Because I see where you're going, but I've got something different.
His father, Hook's father, Taz.
Who is Taz?
Peter Sinerka is on commentary every week for Dynamite.
Yes. And does a damn good job.
The kid's getting choked out in the ring. And the ref wouldn't stop the match. He stopped moving. He's doing the old lift the arm up thing 3 times. Stop the match. Stop the match, ref. Stop the match. That's what Taz should have said. He should have ran to the ring right when the bell's going off and stopped the match, checked on his son. And then he should have got up and pushed Joe and mouthed off to Joe because people remember Taz was a badass back in his day. I'm not saying Taz is going to do a match or a physical altercation with Joe. He should have poked Joe in the chest and yelled at him and told him, you son of a bitch, you rotten bastard, look what you did to my son, blah, 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 blah. And the kid could have been crawling up his dad's khakis, trying to get to his feet and say, Dad, stop, stop, stop. And then they should have ended the show with a slap to Samoa Joe's face by Taz.
See, but then it makes, here's my issue. Because it makes your champion look weak when you do that. It does.
But then Joe gets out of the ring and laughs and walks back up the ramp and goes. The following week, you have an interview with Taz about the condition his son's in. And you have, if you want to have the kid on camera, have him in a wheelchair with a neck brace. You do that a lot on this show. Have him in a wheelchair with a neck brace. Sell the beanie by Samoa Joe.
Everybody's
got a neck brace. Taz will say, don't worry, Joe, I got a surprise for you. Before this show's over, I have a special gift for you. and you know what it's going to be. As Joe comes out for his match, and it's going to be against some schmuck like somebody from Private Party or Top Flight or Dalton Castle or some Shawn Mendrick like that. And as the match is taking place and Joe pins the guy, Taz goes to the ring with Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page, who needs a manager because he can't speak.
I don't want to see that
ring and beats the piss out of, or fights off Samoa Joe. So there you get your next contenders right there. But they're going with a three-way. They're going with Swerve.
They are.
Adam Page and Joe.
I like what you said about Taz. And look, y'all even said it. Bully Ray said Taz shouldn't have entered. Then it becomes about Taz. Here's what I say about it. I like the idea about Taz.
Can it be about Hook?
That's what I'm saying. I like the idea about Taz, but here's what I would have done. I would have absolutely had him get involved. I'd have had him come down there, help his son out, and then Samoa Joe just kicks his ass out of the ring, right? And then Taz gets up to close the show, and you can tell he's hurt and he's walking away, and he just walks away, right? Like he's defeated, he gets his son, they leave. The next week, Taz comes out with Samoa Joe's having his match against whoever and says, regardless of who you beat or don't beat at the next pay-per-view, I've got somebody for you in a couple of weeks, and you save it, and I'd have it be Edge. I'd have Edge as his next opponent.
Edge is supposedly in the middle of a feud with Christian Cage.
That shit needs to be done. Kill it. Jesus Christ on a pony. That's what I would do.
He should have won that belt.
And that's what that's the bitch. And he, as a face, he has a bitch now. I won that belt. I got screwed out of that belt. I don't need that belt. I'm coming for you, Joe. And you've made it personal with my friend Taz that I worked with 20 years ago. There's your storyline. End scene.
Pal, it's the shits. It's just the shits. We're fantasy booking a show that was already on the air.
I know, but this is what I would go for.
Pal.
I know. God, but that would have been good. I like the idea of Taz getting involved. So we're going to do the show tomorrow, correct, Johnny Models?
Yes, we are, my young friend. Yes,
okay.
We are.
We've got a lot of news we couldn't get to today that I want to discuss tomorrow. A lot of news we didn't get to today.
I'm looking at something right now that I'm dying to say this.
Oh God.
I'm dying to say this. On Rampage
is it good banter for tomorrow?
Well, no.
All right, well, then drop it. Drop it.
Nah, let's talk 2 minutes about Jeff Hardy. The Hardys are the gift they keep on giving.
What'd he do now?
Well, they're not happy with their lot in life in AEW. Fantasy shows fantasy booked.
Alexander, we have asked about that. We are still inquiring about that. We have not heard back about that. As soon as we do, we'll let you know. But we are trying our damnedest to figure this out.
Originally, it was slated for January 10th, and then they were to hold off until after the Martin Luther King holiday. But now I believe that they're waiting until the week of the Royal Rumble when they do all the promotional tours.
But it's unconfirmed yet.
Unconfirmed yet. We're waiting to hear back from our source. But
as soon as we hear, we will let you know. Kevin, what did Hardy say now?
He was putting his makeup on Instagram for his match on Rampage, where he's going to face Darby Allin. It's already in the can. It's already taped. And it says, thank you, Charlton, South Carolina, and TWTWBW, whatever that means.
What the hell?
I have no idea what that means. The dimension of AEW Rampage tomorrow night. I apologize to the locals. This match should have been advertised last week, in my opinion. Oh, well, some people feel the rain. Others just get wet. He's got a match with Darby Allin on Rampage.
Jeff Hardy does.
Jeff Hardy does. And here's a spoiler. He slid out of the ring at the end of the match and started taking his sleeves off and throwing them to the crowd and high-fived a couple of people and walked out of the ring. Walked out of the arena through the crowd.
Like he did in WWE when he quit there.
Yes, sir.
So he did the same. We got to talk about this tomorrow, Johnny. We have to.
Yes.
So that's a little teaser for tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow. Oh, man. Oh, I can't wait to talk about this tomorrow. That's a good lead-in.
Matt Hardy has sent
Don't
flowers
you do it.
to his.
Don't you do it.
He sent flowers to his wife, Rebby Hardy.
Were they cactuses?
Honey,
Were
I'm
they
sorry.
cacti?
He said, Reba, I'm sorry. He spelled her name wrong. Reba, I'm sorry.
Okay. I mean, that's it.
They're the gift that keeps on giving.
They really are, just like AEW, the gift that keeps on giving.
Folks, we appreciate the fact that you guys are watching us right now.
Please like and subscribe.
At one point in time, I think we had 40 people here watching the show.
Subscribe.
Please like and subscribe. I sound like Jagomer Pyle from Jim Neighbors.
Just so you guys know.
Subscribe.
Just so you guys know, we really love you guys because in November, the end of November, we had, I think, 88 subscribers. We're almost at 300 now. And we're not a goofy show as far as, we're not going to have dumb shit or stuff that we don't, believe in. Like, we believe in what we say. We're not going to come out here and say something shocking just to get subscribers.
Right.
Like,
we don't make up anything. The whole thing with AEW losing their TV deal, that's not made up. That was from a real source. And
so
it's a validated source. So
we're waiting. Take me home, Bottles.
I'm still waiting to hear back from that source, and I haven't gotten any concrete info from them. So
I know who always had good concrete info.
Who?
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.